Here we go, launching a violin to the edge of space. Woo! I wanted to find out if a violin could survive going to the edge of space and what it would sound like upon returning to Earth. So we attached it to that weather balloon, and we'll be sending it to 80,000 feet above sea level before it tumbles back to Earth. Now, because this is for science, I had to play the violin before we launched it so we could get a fair sound comparison. So now we've got to hop on our cars, find where it lands, and hope it hasn't crashed on a bunch of rocks, because I really want to play this. Let's go. Now my friend John is the scientist leading this balloon launch and can tell us about some of the conditions the violin is about to go through.
So as the violin goes up, it's going to start here at our altitude of around about 5,000 feet above sea level, and then the pressure will start to drop immediately all the way up until the point of where we're into the near vacuum of the edge of space.
Now I wanted to put a violin through some of these extreme conditions before our launch, so we did a series of tests. First, we put a violin in a vacuum chamber where there's almost no pressure on it and played it afterward. Okay, it looks pretty good, but I can tell that the G string is really loose, so I'm going to tighten that up before I play it. Really stayed in tune pretty well except for that bottom string. I think it sounds better. Okay, so this is how we keep in touch with our team. I don't have a ham radio license, so I'm not allowed to touch any of the dials. This is how I'm gonna listen.
Rob, can you please get off the line?
Oh, crap. Anyway, the crew has been predicting for weeks the direction this violin will fly so that we have some idea where it's going to land. Right now, the violin is flying southeast, which is the same way we're driving, in the hopes that we can be there just after it crashes.
So the flight can be surprisingly dramatic. As we go up through the jet stream, it'll be fairly calm, but it'll be moving very rapidly. It'll be moving at about 100 miles an hour as it's in the jet stream right now. The other thing that will change is going to be the temperature, and that'll be quite dramatic as the temperature goes from our temperature here, which is going to be around 70 degrees Fahrenheit, to where it's going to be at about minus 75 degrees below zero.
Now, negative 70 Fahrenheit is really cold, but I went all the way for this next test. I took my violin into a cryotherapy chamber, which went down to negative 200 degrees. So I really wanted to see if the violin could survive that type of temperature. Okay, that was really cold, and I think the violin's all right. Just thawed out. Felt pretty good, really cold, but sounded all right. I think we're gonna be okay.
So right now, the violin is at about 70,000 feet up. That's gonna put it above the flight ceiling of a U-2 spy plane. So this violin is now higher than any U-2 spy plane can fly. It's higher than the SR-71 can go. It is above all airline possible traffic. So what we're going to do right now is stay here while we watch what's happening with the balloon flight. As soon as we see which way it's heading and the balloon bursts, at that point in time we'll be able to then follow it down to the ground.
This is the highest a violin has ever been. Now, once the balloon pops, the violin can experience G-forces of up to 6 Gs. So it's got to be pretty durable. Fortunately, our friends at sharmusic.com sent us a violin that's got a little sturdier varnish, so I'm hoping I'll be able to play it once it lands. Now, if you wanted to learn how to play the violin but don't know where to start, check out sharmusic.com/RobLandis by clicking the link in my description below and check out the instruments they have. Now, they've got deals where you can buy the entire package, the violin, shoulder rest, tuner, everything you need to get started right out of the box and learn how to play. So click the link in my description below and check out their instruments. Okay, the balloon just burst at 87,000 feet, so it should be down here in just a few minutes. So we had 2 trackers on this, and we just got news that we lost both of them, but we're gonna figure it out. I think there's a tracker that's a little lower quality. We're hoping we're still gonna get coordinates. Otherwise, this is a lot of land to have to cover to find this thing.
The landing is really where everything matters on this. That's going to depend on 2 things. One is where we land. Are we going to land in rocks? Are we going to land in sand? Are we going to land in a wheat field? If there's ground wind, it'll land and then get dragged a little bit. If there's no ground wind, then it'll land pretty smoothly and just drop on top of itself.
Fortunately, as the Violin dropped closer to Earth, the tracker started working again and transmitted the location to us, so we felt better about being able to find it. Okay, so it just landed. We've got about a 200-meter hike that way, and I'm excited to see if this Violin survived. What do you think? Water! Water! Ah.
Okay, we got it!
All right, we found it. It's right here. Let's see how the Violin's doing. Oh, landed upside down. Oh wow, that's tangled. Oh yeah.
It happened on burst.
Feels really warm, but it was freezing up there just like 30 minutes ago. All right, so the bridge collapsed, but amazingly we still have it. I'm just gonna unclip this and we're gonna see how it sounds. So we're gonna set this bridge up, retune the strings, see if we can get it to play. Looks like the G string almost broke. Yeah, I mean, really, it doesn't really look that dented up at all. You just have a couple of scratches, I think, from impact. All right, this was so much fun. It survived. Thanks for being on this journey with me. Let's get some of the team in. Why don't you guys all come in behind me? So again, you can get violins that survive the edge of space, and beautiful ones too, from sharmusic.com. I want to give a huge thank you to Dr. John Soul and his team at the Harbor program at Weber State University for making this a massive success. Thank you guys.
You betcha! Whoa!